Before I start, those two chaps here, I'm going to follow these two up for the rest of the week. I don't want this equipment off of them. Good work, boys. Anyway, afternoon, everyone, and I'm sure you all know me. I won't have to do this a second.
Put your glasses on, Jen.
I don't need my glasses. I'm not as old as you yet, John. As I say, I'm Jonathan-Clare's dad, and I have the pleasure of making the first speech. And as you all know, I'm just a warm-up back for whoever's coming behind me. Like a funny feeling it could be the bearded one over there. Got to admit, I'm going to be a wee bit nervous here today not because I'm making a speech, but because being married 34 years and living with 3 women, I constantly get interrupted, and I don't get talking for any longer than 30 seconds, and you will understand this when you're married for a little while. Firstly, on behalf of Kathy and myself, and also Jonathan's parents, Joe and Paul, I would like to welcome you all, and thank you for coming to celebrate Claire and Jonathan's big day. It's taken them a while to get to this point, but with these 2 little ones here, it's been well worth the wait. So they've made up for it. An interesting little fact, which most of you probably know by now, is that this young lady here, conceived in Australia, born in Ireland. I don't care whether you like us or not. And this young lady here, conceived in Ireland and born in Australia. And she's a little Aussie passport now. Just before I go any further, I'd just like to acknowledge that there are some family members here who have lost over the years who haven't been here today. Most recent, of course, being Jimmy. Excuse me. I know I shouldn't have mentioned that, but he has missed. Yeah, now, just one request of everybody now, first of all, before I go any further. Can you please be extra especially careful with the table decorations? Johnny wants to take them back to Poundland and get a refund afterwards. Normally, traditional at this point for me to share some stories about the bride. But don't worry, Claire, I've promised under threat I might add that I wouldn't embarrass you in my speech, so I'll keep that promise. Me and your mum will just go from table to table afterwards. Today is the day that I and countless fathers before me have looked forward to for a long time, but also feared because we don't know who our daughters are going to end up with, what kind of man they're going to end up with. But I'm glad they ended up with Jonathan. It's going to kill me to see this. This fear was removed when Jonathan turned from being just a friend. Remember that, Claire? Just a friend. To a proper boyfriend and was introduced to us. And when it comes time for Sophia and our Maya to get married, he will fully understand what it's like to be the father of girls. Trust me, it's going to be fun. Today I would like to say how proud I felt giving you away. You looked absolutely stunning today. So much so that Sophia said to me earlier, my mum looks like a princess. There's 2 princesses today.
There's 3.
There's 4.
I was sorry to
Don't forget about Kathy.
There's 5.
you were referring
Don't forget about that.
For the next princess.
Come on.
Today, I'm giving you to a man who I'm sure will always look after you, Sophia and Maya. And if he doesn't, he better not be fooled by my slowly advancing years. I'm not too old yet, pal. For me, the key to being a real dad, and a mum for that matter, is giving unconditional love, advice and support, encouraging you in everything you do, believing in you when nobody else does, and most importantly, being there for you whenever you need us, and never letting you down. And I like to think we've done just that over the years. And of course, your sister Tony shares that sentiment as well, and we'll continue to do so until our last breath. Claire, everyone knows you will agree that you're kind, caring, bubbly, fun-loving, and a brilliant mum to Sophia and Maya. Isn't that right?
Yeah,
Right, okay.
right.
Checks the post. And today seems to be the perfect occasion in front of family and friends for your mum and I to say how much we love you, that we are very proud of you, and we couldn't wish for a better daughter. And that sentiment also applies to my other daughter, wherever she disappeared. Right there.
I
And now we come to Jonathan, the man who has stolen my daughter away. Not just in marriage, but also 10,000 miles away to Australia with our only 2 grandchildren. That's going to be hard to forgive. Don't look so worried, Jonathan. I'll be gentle with you for now. If I can start by thanking your brother for babysitting you since yesterday. Most parents of the bride would be worried that the groom would not turn up or turn up drunk. But with Jonathan, we were worried he might go to another tiling job instead of getting married and leaving it unfinished like he did with my bathroom. And if I'm not mistaken, at least one unfinished job in his parents' house. Is that right, Paul? Yeah.
More than one.
On a more serious note, normally at this point we'd welcome the new son-in-law to the family. But Kath and I welcomed Jonathan and their family many years ago. And I'd like to think we have always treated Jonathan as part of the family. We liked you from the moment we first met, and it was obvious that you adored Claire. And if truth be told, we were a bit relieved that she had met someone normal. Well, normal-ish. Over the past years, our first instincts have proved correct, and I guess we look on you more as a son than a son-in-law. So remember that if you ever need our help or support, we're always there for you as well as Claire. Everyone can see how much you love Claire, Sophia, and Maya, and you work hard to provide for your family, and you're a great dad. You also have a good sense of humour and caring and sensitive side too. Jesus, you're right, it's atrocious, Johnny. And although you have each other and are very independent, never forget that you always have the support of your family and friends. You don't get rid of us that easily. I know that for you, meeting Claire made your life more complete. And with the addition of Sophia and Maya and saying your vows today, this could be the final part of the jigsaw. Unless, of course, another grandchild is on the cards and she has a habit of springing surprises on us. A free bit of advice now. As smart as you looked in your new suit, just remember, Claire will be wearing the trousers from tomorrow on. She'll shape and mould you into the perfect husband. But I'm sure you're a modern man and like the idea of equality as much as I do. So remember, doing some housework won't kill you, but she might. Neither of you will ever be perfect, but you can be a perfect match for each other. A successful marriage is not about finding a person you can live with, but finding a person that you can't live without. And I believe that you've found that with each other. Now, I am no expert on marriage and what man is, but I would like to share another bit of advice with you. If you've fallen out, never ever go to bed angry. Be like Kathy and me, stay up all night and fight. And never underestimate a good nap. So, you've suffered with me long enough now, I think. I don't know who's coming after me for a wee speech, but if I could just raise your glasses and give us a little toast, please. Here's to the past for all that you've learned. Here's to the present for all that you share. And here's to the future for all that you look forward to together.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to rehash a story I told at Ronan's wedding. When Ronan and Julie went tropping around the world, seems to me it's a bit of a habit in our family. Maybe it's because I'm a bad fella, according to Jonathan, because you know what's coming. Because when Jonathan was about 18, he turned around and told me I was an awful fella because I'd never taken him fishing. Now, I'd never went fishing in my life. Do you know what I mean? But Jonathan never worked. However, Jonathan, I never went ballet dancing in my life. So, Sophia, I want you to make sure your daddy goes to every ballet class that you go to, okay? Anyway, back to the story. Whenever Ronan was away, we heard Mark and Jonathan talking about Ronan, and they were calling him Jose. And we were going, Jose, what, you know? And then we found out Jose Mourinho, the special one. Well, today, Jonathan, you're special. You're special today, and we'd like to thank you and Claire for bringing us the two wee dots there, Sophia and Maya. Now, not only is Jonathan special, but he's also, you may have noticed, very photogenic. When we were asked to pick photographs for your wedding invites, we came across our favourite of him. There he was, blonde hair, blue eyes, dribbling, pointing at the camera, on his 18th birthday. Do you know? Now, Australia may be a great life, but as grandparents, we do worry about things out there. You've got the climate, you've got the bugs and critters, and you've got Clare's thriving. But I'll be brief. Jonathan, my advice for a happy marriage is when you're in the wrong, admit it. When you're in the right, shut up. Clare, welcome to family.
I'm just starting off that I decided to speak because Mark's been barred from speaking before the watershed. Before 9 p.m. So after 9 p.m, if anybody wants any stories, X-rated stories about Jonathan, go find Mark at the bar. But Claire, there's a few things you need to know about Jonathan. You probably don't know, he was a bit of an attention seeker when we were younger. I think it was because he had two older brothers, so he was trying to find ways of being appreciated. But I remember one time my uncles were building Foyle Springs, so they used to park their dumper trucks in our driveway. And me and Mark, Jonathan must have been about 3, and me and Mark were out playing in the dumper truck, completely watching Jonathan, looking after him, and he decided to skydive off the dumper truck, but it was not me and Mark's fault. We were totally watching him. He just decided to do that. And he cracked his head, as you can see his wee scar up there. It's cute now, but at the time me and Mark got absolutely murdered, so that was not our fault. And then about 3 or 4 years later, Jonathan must have been 7 or 8, and we took him down to Kildare Beach. Jonathan was a proper surfer dude, by the way, that was his nickname. And we took him down to Kildare Beach, where we had him well home. And the same thing happened. He decided to skydive off the rocks and cracked his head on the other side and got a split. But once again, me and Mark were not responsible for that either. But as you can see, there's no long-term damage done, apart from sometimes he has to wear a nappy, you know. He's all think Claire's nappy bags are for Maya. There you go, he's no now. So we'll just move on to Jonathan's school years. Now, Jonathan, being the supportive brother that he was, he decided to fail his 11 plus to make me and Mark feel okay about it, because we failed ours. And he followed us and the Stewarts in a long line of Stewarts that went to St. Joseph's. All right, Daddy, you went to college, fair enough. You're brilliant, you're special, you went to college. Let's just say St. Joseph's was an obstacle in Jonathan's path to become the best tailor in the world. To say Jonathan frustrated his teachers is a bit of an understatement. For example, on the day of his GCSE maths exam, Mr. Coyle was phoning and said, "Where's Jonathan? Where's your mum?" He says, "Oh, I don't know where he is." And Mr. Coyle called down to the house after, and Mum says, "Oh, I didn't know he had a maths exam." Mr. Coyle was like, "God." And Jonathan was in a tiling job with Mark that day. So most of us went to school and got a part-time job. Jonathan got a full-time job and took a part-time education. But looking back, it was the best thing he ever did, you know. So in your face, Mr. Coyle. So Jonathan was working, self-employed basically, working with Mark from when he was like 13, 14. So I always remember like bundles of cash lying around his room. You know, at 17, I was like the older brother going, what the hell? Just bundles of cash lying around, so he used to go and get subs off your younger brother. You know. And I'm sure all VAT was paid on it, Dad. Yeah, I'm sure I paid all VAT. But it was around this time Jonathan met Claire. And I'm sure it had nothing to do with the bundles of cash, Claire, that you fell for Jonathan. But I'm sure it did no harm. Well, as you all know, Jonathan and Claire are now living in Australia, but we always know now that Jonathan's heart was always in Australia. You know, when he was younger, he used to go to Kildare Beach, and the blonde, floppy hair, permatan, Bermuda shorts, and he practically lived in Kildare Beach, we say. And his nickname was always Surfer Dude. We always had it like so. And it used to actually prefer to be called Jason Donovan at one stage, I think. Which is strange because he's only one street away from neighbours now, is it? Or just So Jonathan and Claire have been together, is it 8 years, 9? No, 12 is it? 12 years. And they have 2 gorgeous babes who are stunning today, Maya and Sophia. And they look like princesses. But in saying that, like Jonathan is like me. He's not one to rush into big decisions lightly. Me and Jonathan made a bet a few years ago, and I was pretty adamant that Jonathan would have lasted longer being engaged than me, or got engaged in a shorter time, but he actually beat me. I lasted 9 years, which was quite good, but Jonathan lasted 12. So the bet was £100, so it's only fair I settle it now. So I'm going to give you this. To be honest, I'm giving it this because I'm a bit skint this weekend from Loch S, so it's an IOU for £100, Jonathan. And you forget about inflation. But as going back to the engagement now, so Jonathan phoned me a few times from Australia, and he was all right. I'm thinking of getting engaged now with Claire. I'm going to make a big deal. This is true, totally true. And so he ran a few ideas past me, and one of them was, right, he was doing skydives. He joined the skydiving club. And he was like, right, okay, do you know what, I'm thinking of skydiving down, maybe into the backyard. Proposed to Claire. He was like going, that's amazing, brilliant. This is right, when he planned that, I was like, I'll see. So that kind of never happened. I was going, right, okay. And then on his last birthday, his 29th, I booked him a shark dive at the aquarium in Melbourne. So he phoned me a few months before that, and he was all right, the plan is I'm going to dive in the aquarium, have Claire, Maya and Sophia out there. I'm going to have a card saying, will you marry me? And I was like, that sounds amazing, do it. It's grand. And then a week before he phoned, I was like, so did you get the thing? No, I didn't get the ring, or I didn't get anything sorted. So I think me and, what was your friend's name again? Sam. I think me and Sam are just going to go out for pints after. So, as we all know, Jonathan's not one to make a fuss, so he decided not to propose at all. And here we are today. So, that's pretty much it from me, because I know you're all starving. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming on Jonathan and Claire's behalf. And John's going to say a few words after, actually, I think. But we've such an amazing day, and we're so privileged to be here, and with such an amazing ceremony. Today was just the best way I've ever been at so far, so roll on the DJ later. So thank you, everybody. Just raise a toast to Jonathan and Claire and Maya and Sophia. Cheers.
I want to thank Loch Esk, all the staff, especially Stephen. They've all been amazing. I want to thank Siobhan for marrying us. She was brilliant. Claire, obviously, stunning. Sophia, aren't you gorgeous today? Yeah. And Maya, obviously. Mustafa, the photographer, he's been great today. Charlie, the videographer, been awesome. We just had an absolutely fantastic day. Luke, the singer, he's been brilliant. The readers, Amy, Caitlin, Tony and Mark, thank you very much for doing the readings. Everybody that had to travel here today, long distances, I'd like to thank you all from Perth. Obviously the both sets of parents, Jerry, Kathy, Mum and Dad, I'd like to thank you for everything. And then, just thank everybody for turning up today. And that's it. Thank you.